Good day, my friends. Welcome back, and I hope you're all doing well. And the existing bad news from all over the world is not bothering you much. While, of course, a human being is always susceptible to seeing bad things happening to other people. That, of course, doesn't include those inhumane people who do anything just to get themselves ahead. Today I would like to cook a dish for you, which is a mix of meat and herb, and it's called Persian herb stew, or Qormeh Sabzi. So for that we need about a kilo of meat. This meat has to be either brisk or chunk from lamb, preferably, or you could use beef as well, but lamb is a better choice. So we have to cut it into squares. I am cutting the way it should be, just to show you how it's done, and I do the rest off the camera, just a piece to show you the size that we needed. Okay, I will do the rest, and after that I'm gonna wash it and let it dry, and then use it later on. Now for the herbs, we need to have some parsley. I've given the amount in the description, and we need some coriander, and also Persian leek. Some people mix Persian leek with Persian chive and call this Persian chive, which is not correct. As you can see, the Persian leek has got flat leaves, just like Western leaf. Western leek is much bigger, but Persian leek is smaller. Now I'll show you a Persian chive. You see how different it is. It is round, just like Western chive, and it's hollow in the middle, as you can see. So these two are totally different. We also need some spinach. I usually add the spinach, not many people do, and this is the spinach that I bought today. We didn't have anything from British Columbia today, so I bought this, which is organic baby spinach from Calgary, Alberta. Looks very nice. And we also need some fenugreek. I didn't find fresh fenugreek. If we have fresh fenugreek, we add about 100 grams, but if not, we are going to add dry fenugreek, about 3 tablespoons. We can't add too much fenugreek because the stew will become bitter. So I'm going to cut all these into smaller pieces and then put them in the food processor and get them finely chopped, because I can never do what food processor would do. It has to be very finely chopped. Now for the beans, we can use Romano or Pinto beans or kidney beans or black eye beans. I always prefer black eye beans because it's I believe it's more delicious, and this is actually a stew that is southern style. For the northern style they add red beans. We also need 3 cups of rice that I've washed thoroughly. You gotta wash it a few times and then soak it in water for about 5 to 6 hours. We also soak the black eye beans in water for about 3 hours or so, and then we're gonna cook the rice. For the spices, we need half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon, that's the teaspoon that I'm using, half a teaspoon. That's the ginger, dry powder, and black pepper and salt, all of them half a teaspoon. We also need some chopped garlic. This is about 3 cloves. We need some dry lemon. You can buy them from any Persian store. We need about 5 of them. I show you how we're gonna prepare them. We cut deep lines, a few lines in the lemon. As I said, we need about 5, and then put these into hot water in a bowl like I've done, and wait for the time that we are going to use them. Then we drain the water and use the lemon. The reason for putting it in the water is to make it soft and also get rid of some of the bitterness. We also need 1 large onion that we need to chop it like the way I've done, and we are going to use about a cup of tomato juice at the end. Some people use tomato paste instead, but I find tomato juice to be much better. Now we are going to put a pot on the stove and turn the heat on and add some extra virgin olive oil. Now we add the onions, and stir it and wait for the onions to get soft. When the onion is softer, we are going to add the garlic. We stir the onion and garlic. After a few minutes, we are going to add the powder that we prepared. That's turmeric, ginger powder, black pepper, and salt. Some people add the same amount of spices at the end when you're adding the water to the stew. Now we are going to add the meat that we cut and also washed and drained, and we're going to add them now. There is also a bone in there that I'm going to use as well. Many people like the bone marrow, and when it's cooked, sometimes there is a fight over it. I usually get a few of them, and then everybody can get a piece. Now we keep moving the meat around and make sure all the sides are getting semi-cooked, but we keep looking, and as you can see, one side is brown, the other is still pink, so we gotta get them even. We keep stirring it, and as you can see, there is a little bit of liquid in there. It's because of the onion and the fat in the meat. Now that both sides of the meat are brownish, we are going to add 2 cups of black eye beans. If we were using Romano or Pinto or kidney beans, we had to boil them and get them half cooked before adding them at this stage. But with black eye beans, we don't do that. We add them straight because black eye bean gets cooked much faster. Now we add some hot water. It has to be hot water, not cold, up to the top of the meat and beans. Now we stir it gently, and cover it and let it simmer. While that's going on, we put all the herbs that we prepared in food processor in a pan, and without adding oil at first, we move it around to get rid of some of the moisture, and then we add the oil. Now that we add the oil, we keep moving it around. This part needs a bit of a patience because you need to keep moving it around, not to burn the herbs, because if you burn them, they turn black, and they also lose all the nutrition. So you got to keep moving them around until you feel that they're cooked, but still maintain their greenish color. You don't want it to go too dark. Now anytime the herbs are ready, we are going to add them to our stew. Now we put the lid back on and let it simmer. It is on the medium-low heat. Now I'm taking the bone out. It doesn't need to be there anymore. It's already cooked, and that's the bit, that bit in the middle, which is the bone marrow, is gonna be a delicacy for many. Now we are going to add the dry lemon that we soaked in water and cut. And now we gently move everything around. We don't want the beans to break in pieces. Now we put the lid on and let it simmer again, and meanwhile we are going to prepare our rice. So we add the rice to a pot. This is the rice that we soaked for about 6 hours. It needs to be soaked between 3 to 6 hours. And then we add the water up to about 3 centimeters above the rice. And then cover it and wait for it to start boiling and getting cooked. Every now and then we are going to have a look and taste it a little bit so that it doesn't get overcooked. We don't want it to become sticky. So as soon as the rice is at this stage that is not hard anymore, but it's not too soft, we can remove it from the heat and put it in a strainer and drain it. After that, we are going to wash it with cold water for 2 reasons. One is that it doesn't stick together and become sticky. That's one thing we want to avoid. And also, we get rid of some of the extra starch that we don't want. Now we are going to wash it with cold water. Now, I've mentioned it a few times, this water that is drained, it's good to be used as fertilizer for your plant, so you can let it cool and then dilute it and use it as fertilizer for your plant. Now we put the pan after washing it on the stove again and spray some oil on the bottom, and sometimes it's nice to add some saffron on the bottom as well to get it a nice color. Now we add the rice. We are going to give it a kind of a cone shape. And after doing that, we will poke a few holes in the middle so that the steam will come off easily. Now we add a piece of cloth or towel on the lid and put it on top of the pot. This will absorb the moisture that is coming off. This way we avoid having a sticky rice. Now it takes about, on very low heat, it takes about 50 minutes to an hour. About 10 minutes before we remove it, we are going to add some butter on top. This is going to make it much more delicious, and we put the cover back, and the butter is going to melt and will help the rice to come off easily as well. Now we are going to put a plate on top of it and turn it over, and as you can see, it comes off easily and looks so nice, just like a cake. Now our stew is also done. We are adding a cup of tomato juice at the end, and stir it gently. Wait another 10 minutes, and after that we turn the heat off and put it aside and give it a rest for about maybe another 10 minutes. Now we put them both on the serving plate, and here you are. It's all done. Thank you very much for watching.